Hey, the Phillies got to win. No shit.
And we're live with UCR here at Atlanta, and the Phillies gotta win.
Yeah.
How about
Pop
the
up my
Phillies?
screen that we are live. Yeah, congrats to the Phillies. First off. Yeah, now it finally popped up there for SDK on my side. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CRN and apparently the end of the Phillies broadcast as well. But here with the Top Gun Cup here again, and they're at Atlanta. Not the newly paved Atlanta, they're at the older one, so just a little less grip for these guys, and not as dark as the new freshly paved surface here. So give these guys a little bit more of a rougher, older surface, just like they like it. And I think the trouble spots are going to be kind of like we're used to seeing here out of turn two, just watching if the car wants to wash up. Coming up out of the corner onto the backstretch, and then possibly coming out of the third turn, leading you into the end of the first dog leg there, coming to the start finish line. But Atlanta usually not too bad coming out of that corner, nothing like Texas or even Charlotte. So yeah, these guys are handling it, but you see right there, Peter Brzuchek looking back at him. That is the exit turn two that I just mentioned. Coming back onto the backstretch there, it can certainly get a little bit tight at the top of the track, but we are ready tonight for 117 laps for these guys, and this is race number 4 for them on the season. So only a few races under their belt so far, but as it stands right now, top of the boards is Andrew Ratcliffe. Then you got Grady Gherkin, who is only 10 points behind Brandon Zimmerman, Eric Jeffers, Peter Brzuchek, your top 5, and then you got Bennett, Lesh, Japs, Crawford, and Bolster rounding out your top 10. But should be a good one here tonight, Jimmy. I myself like these 1.5 mile quad ovals. I mean, they're all cookie cutter and the same, but they all kind of have their own little quirks.
Yeah, each one is a little bit different, and they did choose to go with the older version of Atlanta because they are driving the older version of the used cars here, the 87s. So just trying to keep it as close to back then as possible, as UCRL continues to do with a lot of their races. I got the pleasure to run in the next gen series that they have on the opposite weeks that we do not broadcast them, and it was a lot of fun getting out there and kind of hanging out with the guys that you're out here every week, and you're talking about them and broadcasting and showing them their skills, and just to be next to them and learn a little bit. So there's a lot of fun there, and I'm thinking tonight is going to be another great night of racing. We have over 20, I think it's 24, 25 cars in the field tonight so far, and JP Phillips being one of the faster guys on the track here for practice and so far here in the qualification, as he is on the leaderboard with a 31.972, followed closely by Travis Bennett in that number 6.
And some of the new guys for you CRN veterans, you may notice some of the names that you'll see in here. Like you got Sam Oliver, and obviously we had James Carmen in there already. That some of the guys that you see from the Core Vintage Series. Once that season kind of ended, they were looking for a new place to run some 87s. So what better place than to keep it CRN and jump right over with these guys over here in the Top Gun Cup. But yeah, it should be a good sized field here tonight. Once again, we're going to bring in our in-race reporter here in just a bit, and that is going to be the driver of the 93, and that is going to be Michael Whitley Jr. once he gets his qualifying done. But I mean, so far in the season, it's been a pretty good season. Maybe a little bit up and down with a little bit of a rough race, and then we have a good race, and it's kind of going back and forth a little bit. I feel like Atlanta, it looks like these guys, at least from practice, they've got it under control a little bit. Maybe last week just a little bit sketchy with the cars and the setup, and I've seen a lot of single car spins, but the guys seem like they have these cars under control, at least from what I've seen in practice. Are you kind of see the same thing, Jimmy?
Yeah, I sat here and I was watching them pretty much through their whole entire practice, watching them push the cars to the limit, and catching the wall a little bit here and there, maybe a self spin. But I think it's just them trying to get them hot laps in and make sure they can get a good qualification in. Right now, Eric Jeffers takes the original pole, now over Grady Gherkin. So Eric Jeffers running a 31.881 to take that pole so far here tonight, with a little bit about a minute and a half remaining. A few drivers out there. We got 22 of the 24 drivers with times in. So, and they're all sitting pretty close.
So the way the season has been trending, it would stand to reason that we should expect 20 cautions here tonight. The way it's going is we had 5 cautions there in the first one, and it peaked last week at 17. But I think that was just more akin to, again, that the setup being just a little bit shaky, and the fact that it's short track racing, just like Jimmy loves there at Richmond last week. But rundown of the winners so far this season. Obviously, in the season opener at Daytona, you had Grady Gherkin taking the opener there. Andrew Ratcliffe winning at Rockingham in week 2. And then 2 weeks ago for race number 3, Tommy Ryan breaking through and getting a win in the series. But it looks like, I believe Michael Whitley is done. Just trying to take a look. He may not be putting a qualifying lap in the way it seems. So we'll go ahead and bring in our pre-race reporter here, the driver of the 93, Michael Whitley Jr. And Michael, 4th race of the season here, and we're at Atlanta. And I talked to Jimmy about these mile-and-a-half quad ovals, you know, all being, yeah, sure, you can call them cookie cutter, and they're all, you know, shaped the same and everything like that. But what makes Atlanta a little bit different than the other ones?
I think a big thing is it's a worn-out surface. It's old. It's bumpy. It just doesn't have that smooth flow that you get out of like a Vegas or a Kansas. You know, it's a cookie cutter, but I mean, I feel like every mile and a half is got its own unique personality, and Atlanta is absolutely no different.
So, do you feel like the season has gone, you know, just your way this year so far, or you feel like there's a lot that's kind of left to be desired? Obviously, starting out with an 8th place there at Daytona. So you start off the season with a top 10, but you know, how do you feel like the season's gone so far for you?
Not too bad. I've kind of put myself in precarious situations that have hurt me more than anything, and I feel like that's kind of put me down a little bit. You know, ran good at the Rock, ran good at Richmond, and kind of put myself in situations where I kind of took myself out. You know, long races, and I'm just kind of, you know, get about halfway through, hit that little lull, and kind of doze off a little bit there, and you know, I hit the wall at the Rock and caused some issues. Then did the same thing at Richmond, and just kind of had to fight back. And but I mean, I feel like for my first year in the 87s, I've never really done much. I feel like it hadn't been bad.
So some people like when there's a little bit more cautions than green flag runs. You know, some people like to just play some differing strategies to try and work their way up through the front. Obviously, had a little bit of mix of both with 5 cautions in the first race, but then you know, 12 and 17 the last couple of races. Do you feel like that kind of throws you out of your rhythm? Do you like that it kind of mixes everything up?
Yeah, no, I definitely would prefer long green flag runs. Let everybody kind of run their race and get in there and get some tire strategy and get some fuel strategy versus let's re-rack them every fuel run and go from there. I much prefer green flag runs.
So got to talk about the elephant in the room, and word amongst the paddock is you and Travis Bennett have been close to fisticuffs in the pit lane. Is everything smoothed over with that now?
Yeah. Travis hates everybody, but no, me and Travis have been together, and Eric and Corey, our guy that kind of hangs out with us. We've been together since the Gran Turismo 5 days. And Travis and Eric have been together since Toka. So, you know, we kind of know each other. We play around and joke and all that stuff, so.
Yeah, I figured I had to bring that up after I tried to, you know, stir the pot a little bit. But, all right, well, it looks like you guys are out there gritting and getting ready to go for 117 laps. Before we let you go, anybody want to give a shout-out to or thanks to?
Yeah, just thanks to Scott for running this league, and thanks to y'all, man. Y'all put on a hell of a broadcast. Yeah, I run a few other leagues, and y'all's broadcast abilities are top notch. I love it.
I appreciate it, buddy. Well, good luck out there. Hopefully we can get another top 10 or maybe even see you in the podium afterwards.
Thanks, sir. That's the goal.
All right, buddy. That is driver of the 93, Michael Whitley Jr. Jimmy, we're all ready to go here. These guys are pacing around. Eric Jeffers on the pole, Grady Gherkin on the outside. Then you got JP Phillips, Travis Bennett making up your second row. Third row is going to be Trevor Hunt and Jake Lesh. And then you got Jordan Wenzel, Brent Kirby, Tommy Ryan, and Andrew Ratcliffe. Your top 10 pace car is in, and we are green flag here at Atlanta. Nice start on the inside there for Eric Jeffers as he heads off into turn one. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah, no, nice start there by Eric Jeffers and Jake Lesh pulling in that inside, trying to get underneath JP Phillips. JP Phillips had some great speed during practice, and though the leaders get together, so Gherkin and Jeffers get together. Looks like the caution flag will not come out, as only Grady is the one that kind of suffered there a little bit. Jeffers kind of got tied up, but we'll go ahead and just maybe catch that back, just kind of see what happened here.
Looks like a little bit of both. The 46 was kind of pushing up the track and even a little bit loose, and then I seen the Ford just get just a smidge loose and come down the track a little bit. But kind of interesting there to see Jeffers on the start there. He jumped right up in front of Grady Gherkin in turn 1 and 2. So possibly the top line is where you want to be in turns 1 and 2. Just the way he made that move up there as Gherkin tried to get to the inside, but we got another wreck back there. Looks like Brandon Zimmerman in there, and another one right there for Eric Jeffers as he gets spun. It's going to help out Grady Gherkin catch back up to the field, but we'll see what happened there with the 65. And it looks like it's a little bit of help, possibly from the 3. Might have been a little net code as well.
And Sam Oliver getting collected in there as well. So a few drivers involved there. I'll go ahead and I'll rerun that one more time for y'all to see. I'll slow her down so you can kind of see a little bit what's going on around. And it looks like Ian Adams comes up just a little bit. And I don't know if that's a little bit of net code or just touching just a little bit, but the rear end goes around on that 65. Brandon Zimmerman, he comes down, almost can collects with Peter Pazuchek. The 67 goes low to avoid the 65. The 95 of Sam Oliver getting collected, getting up into the wall, so he's gonna have to come in and get some repairs done. Scott Bolster sneaks by, the 18 sneaks by. Looks like the Krispy Kreme machine locking her up, trying to avoid a 65, but the 65 does a great job of holding them brakes, allowing for people to avoid him. So but Brandon Zimmerman will come down into the pits to get some of those repairs done. Hopefully not too bad where he has to use his fast repair, because it is early, as we are only on lap 4 of 117 laps here at Atlanta.
Yeah, but Jimmy, watching that car come down pit road, that definitely looks like fast repair action, if you're asking me. And yeah, you see everything pop right out. He was, as the iRacing term that he probably don't hear anywhere else, crab walking. And as that car was kind of driving sideways down the pit lane, looked like the front end was really banged in there. But you also seen Sam Oliver in the pits there. He is 1 lap down now, as he was in there getting some repairs done. Doesn't look like he used a fast repair, just trying to beat and bang that thing out as much as possible. As Jimmy said, still plenty early here. Obviously, an early caution here. You don't want to use your fast repair, but you know, if worst case scenario for you, the race goes green for quite some time after that, you could be down so much speed that it's going to hurt you anyway. So see, everything plays out, but out front now, it is going to be the aforementioned Travis Bennett. So I guess you know, maybe sometimes you got nobody to be mad at. You know, you can just be happy out front, as he is having it his way in the Burger King machine right now.
I mean, it's been a while since Burger King's been out, you know, in the front, you know, so I'm not sure where the McDonald's machine's at. Maybe we need to get one out here to compete. But yeah, Travis has been doing a great job in that 6, getting it up front. And you can see Andrew Ratcliffe working his way up to here towards the front as well. As he's up 7 positions from the start, and we know how aggressive Andrew can be and how fast that, you know, he can stretch things out quickly. So I know a lot of these guys out front wanted to basically maybe stretch their legs and get away from Andrew and keep him behind him, but Andrew's very closing that gap in quickly. And another guy, last week's winner, Tommy Ryan. You're not gonna fool me this week there, Tommy. Starting 10th, up 2 positions already. So but I believe Tommy has his brother in the field as well, with Jeff Ryan back there in 14th position in the Budweiser car.
And we're going to blame that start on Barry out there since he picked Jeffers for the win, and already Jeffers having 2 moments there in the first couple laps. But we're getting ready to go back green here. Again, it's going to be Travis Bennett on the front. He's going to be your control car. He's got JP Phillips on the outside, Ratcliffe and Brent Kirby on the second row. And on the loud pedal is Travis Bennett in that Burger King machine. I don't think we have a McDonald's machine in the field. I believe there is a Wendy's. I think I've seen that one out there. So
Yeah,
a couple
there's a
fast
Wendy's
food
out there.
joints out there, but we do have the Burger King machine out there, and Andrew Ratcliffe following Travis Bennett right through there. He's going to move into second place, a close move right there by Jake Leshes. He's going to slide into third place in front of JP Phillips as they head down into turn 3. And it is going to be Travis Bennett leading these guys, but you see it's just a swarm behind them, cars all over the place looking for a position.
Yeah, a lot of these guys, trying to get up there, get in those positions where they can ride. You see that number 3. Ooh, it looks like 67, 57 going there, a little low side. Can catch the apron, slowing up just a little bit. So the 49 is going to go up. The caution is out, as it looks like Sam Oliver crashed again. So not a. And
Yeah, that was before. Yeah, he was trying to avoid it, and unfortunately gets into Gherkin, but I believe that might have started with Eric Jeffers. I'm not sure if he was the one that actually started it or not, but I know he was one of the first guys that got sideways.
I'm going to try to see if I can find him there. I think this is it.
Yep, we may need to get up there a little closer. Out. Yeah, looks like possibly James Carmen involved as well.
Eric Jeffers, and rewind this.
I was gonna say, let's try and rewind. Let's try that one more time. And yeah, it looks like not sure what happened there, as it looks like Jeffers just starts coming up off the track. Maybe he thought the 12 of Carmen was up a little bit higher, but as soon as they get into each other, it's just like glue, and they are gonna stuff it right into the wall there. The 67 gets a little bit of a bump going through there. And then just a little bit of chaos behind as everybody's trying to lock it up, not getting into it. And unfortunately, I think Oliver collected into the back of Grady Gherkin just a little bit as well. You see it right there.
Yeah, I mean, Sam trying to stay out of that as well, obviously because he is a lap down, so he would be able to get that lucky dog, get his wave around, and it looks like he is still out. Yeah, he's still out there on the pits, or on the track, and it looks, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. I have a zoomed in camera here.
Yeah, he's got that
he
fast
went ahead
repair
and he took
taken care
that
of
fast
now.
repair. Yeah, he's was definitely off pace and probably realized it quickly, and as much as he did not want to use that, we're going to go ahead and burn that up and now just play it safe now. So Sam, we know Sam to be a pretty clean driver. He's been in positions where he's been down and has made his way back to the front, so he's proved himself to win at a few different tracks that we've watched. And but right now, the guy out front, the guy getting it done, is the number 6 of Travis Bennett in that Burger King car. And then right on his tech coattails is a 24 of Andrew Ratcliffe, and then Jake Lesh is in third. JP Phillips back there in fourth place. Brett Kirby's in 5th. Trevor Hunt's in 6th, as Trevor worked hard on those. Been working hard on his paints, and that one definitely looks good there. Black Dog number 59. Blue and silver machine with a little bit of gold. Looks really nice there tonight. And then he's in 7th, and then Tommy Ryan's in 8th. Ian Adams has worked his way up to 9th, and Jordan Wetzel in that 81. You're in for a good time. Sprunk Machine is sitting in 10th.
So hopefully this is not a premonition of what may come here for this race, as well as these guys have started out the season, not in typical UCRL fashion, and they know it as well as we know. These guys have a ton of talent, and they've been better than what they've shown so far this season. So hopefully just shaking off the cobwebs again. These guys only get out at it for the Top Gun Cup every other week, but they're putting in some practice in the in the off week, and even though they have the other series, I know there's guys out here getting in some practice. So we'll see if everything starts to kind of shake out now, as we'll complete 10 laps this time by. It's going to be Travis Bennett on the front, and Andrew Ratcliffe is going to join him now, as he is already up 8 spots and already challenging for the lead. I want to send a shout out to one of our new broadcast sponsors, and that is W Energy. If you're looking for a good energy drink that is not going to give you the crash, not going to give you the jitters, definitely check out W. And if you do, use the code COREDUB. That's COREDUB to get yourself 10% off if you're looking to get a little feisty like these guys are. But we are getting ready to go. Pace car lights are out, and it's going to be once again in the hands of Travis Bennett. Hopefully we can get this thing going, get spread out a little bit, get some green flag laps in. And Bennett's waiting a little bit longer this time, and he's on the loud pedal. Jake Lesh going to try and follow him on the inside, as he has just got a fender on the inside of Ratcliffe going into turn 1. And now they are side by side behind Bennett. You see guys all over the track looking for their preferred line and try and get some grip. High line there for the 60 of Tommy Ryan as he tries to work his way towards the front. Certainly seen that 60 up front for quite a bit this season, as the Gopher Cam definitely got some good shots here tonight.
Yeah, they're able to get down there on that low inside, coming around here, and you see how just close they are. I mean, we're all spread out. Everybody's looking for their place to get this thing settled down, be competitive, get a good finish, and it starts by getting out front. And right now, the guy on the move trying to break away, stay away. Oh, it looks like Felipe Ramos is going to go around in the back. Yep, Felipe Ramos and Jeff Rhyme have crashed and bring out yet another caution. So it looks like Felipe just down on that apron. Oh, right in front of Sam Oliver again. So Sam Oliver in his debut here with UCRL is not having a good night, catching this one here in the rear. So it looks like Felipe just kind of got down on that apron again. I'm just going to go ahead and pause it here just a little bit, because we're already catching them down here on the apron. But play here, and then
it looks like just got loose going into the corner, and had to save that thing about 6 times, and I think the 7th time was not the charm, as it hooked him right up in front of Sam Oliver. And yeah, you see him sliding that thing and drifting it all around the corner.
That's a long way.
Like this is a dirt track, and he gets it down on the apron, and like I said, it seemed like he saved it, had to save it again. He saved it, had to save it again, and then finally it ended up just snapping on him. And unfortunately for Sam Oliver, I mean, this is not the debut you wanted to see, but I can promise you, Sam, these guys will certainly straighten out throughout the season here. But yeah, Sam Oliver just taking his fast repair, still looking to get that lucky dog and unlucky dog here tonight, and it looks like it's going to collect the Krispy Kreme machine there as well. And the 67 of Jeff Ryan. So a few cars collected up into that one, as that is going to be another caution to start this thing out, and still only on lap 14.
Yeah, this is not a typical start here at UCRL. Would like obviously having a little bit of issues here, and it's been pretty much the back. So the guys in the front, I'm sure they're saying, hey, come on guys, let's go, get your head out of your bum and drive this thing around the track like we know that you can. But yeah, just getting a little bit loose, self-spin, and collected a couple people, not being able to hold it, keep control of the car underneath the down there on the apron. So this is going to be a good long one here tonight, but I believe that they're going to straighten this up, and we're just going to go ahead and run down the AP's report, kind of see what kind of not AP's report, the pre-race briefings here for Atlanta. And let's see, Atlanta looks like they're going to be able to go between 68 and 72 laps without cautions. So we'll see how these guys manage here, but right now still looking at at least one pit stop. So maybe some people are starting to think pit strategy here, Carl.
Yeah, I mean, this early, it's especially if you're, mid-pack or even towards the back, why not throw a flyer out there and just kind of go off strategy for everybody else. If you maybe don't have the speed to get up there and mix it up with these guys, maybe you just kind of catch them on strategy. And if this thing starts stretching out and going green for a good portion of it, maybe you can find your way up front just on strategy, maybe not necessarily on speed, but hopefully these guys get everything straightened out and get this thing rolling here again on lap 15 right now of 117. So still got more than 100 laps to go in this race. And I mean, I know Travis Bennett is certainly liking this right now. He gets to control another restart, gets to keep that thing out front, and gets to keep it clean.
Any lap out front's a good lap to me. I mean, if I can get my car out front and it's clean like that, I'll stay there all day at 60 miles an hour. But these guys, the lights are out on the pace car. They're going to go back to 2x2. Travis Bennett, Andrew Ratcliffe, JP Phillips, Jake Bliss, Matthew Simon, Brent Kirby, Tommy Ryan, Trevor Hunt, Jordan Wenzel, Ian Adams are your top 10. And then Stuart Alford, Tony Jatz, Peter Pazuchek, Brandon Zimmerman, Scott Bolster, Justin Kirby, Tim Glass, Eric Jeffers, Grady Gherkin, James Carmen, Michael Whitley Jr., our pre-race reporter, Jeff Ryan, Felipe Ramos, and Sam Oliver for our 24-car field. So let's get it done, boys. Let's get out here. Let's get some green flag in. We're coming down the backstretch now. Take a deep breath. Give you guys a little bit of patience, and let's get this thing rocking and rolling.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we can maybe blame the first caution or two on Barry, since he was going for Eric Jeffers tonight. He was involved in the first couple. I mean, now at this point, I mean, do we blame the Phillies win, since they finally got the win and everybody's shook up on that? And clearly I was as well.
I mean, I think everybody shook up that the Phillies even won. I mean, I think that was up like a sentence. I think Phillies and win in the same sentence is just wrong. But a shout out to everybody out there, Barry, Robert, Kelly Pointer out there coming on board and sponsoring a few races for Core Racing. So if you got anything from KPTV, you can go over and check the stream out. Looks like Andrew Ratcliffe's going to go to the high side. Blake Checkless come down low, fall in behind Travis Bennett, try to get that run and maybe poke his nose into the lead.
Yeah, gets a great run off of turn 2 and almost gets it into the back bumper of the 6 as they are dodging back and forth, and looks like we're going to make it at least turn 3 this time, so fingers crossed we can get back to the start-finish line here. Ratcliffe trying to get to the inside. Not going to have the run quite yet, but we're side by side for a bunch of positions behind them, as the 22 of JP Phillips is now going to get passed on the inside by Matthew Simons.
Ian Adams taking
3 wide. Ian Adams going up the middle here. He's going to get past Ryan. He's going to get past Brent Kirby, and the good wrench number 3 is on the move towards the front right now as he moves himself up into 6th place.
Yeah, we've seen Ian last week. Got a lot of speed and a lot of potential, and pulled some pretty tricky moves. So hopefully he found himself a little bit of patience this week, and he'll be able to keep that car up in front this week for the whole entirety there, without having to retire it to the pits. But doing a good job so far, sitting in a 6th spot. Tommy Ryan is in 7th, trying to play that patient game back there with Trevor Hunt in that number 59, only down 3 spots. But 59 looks really good here tonight. And then you got the 57 not too far behind on his bumper. And then 81, 72 fighting side by side. And that 65 of a Brandon Zimmerman coming back after that early incident there. We know he had to use his fast repair, but has found his way back up in P number 12.
So we are now on lap 20 as 72 there of Stuart Alford getting a little bit loose, and I've seen some smoke up front too, but looks like that might have been Ian Adams, but he does collect it and now gets into the side of, or I should say the 65 gets into the side of him. That is Brandon Zimmerman, and now Joni Japs getting close there.
Peter
Pazuchek is going to take a little ride through the grass, start doing a little lawn maintenance there, but he is gonna save it.
Good job, Pete. That's a heck of a ride. You go down that grass and you just have no control of your car. He was able to get it slowed down and keep a straight line, and the field was able to go by. So,
but we do have a yellow on the backstretch.
looks like Ian Adams getting collected. I'm sorry, Ian, if the broadcaster's curse has caught you, but that will wrap it up for the 3, the 65, the 58. Looks like Grady Gherkin as well, so getting that number 3 kind of turned around, everybody kind of checked up, and we'll go ahead and just one more. I think just right here in front of him. Yeah,
I think it was just before that. I think the 65 might have gotten to the back of the 3 to start that thing.
You know, these accidents happen so fast sometimes that even SDK can't quite catch it all. We'll just back it up just a little bit. We'll kind of get an idea what's going on here with Ian.
It almost looked like he was just a little bit slow coming off the corner there, and yeah, it looks like the back end already stepping out there, and I don't think Zimmerman realized that the 3 was sideways. Gets into the back of him, and that's pretty much all she wrote. As he's going to slide up and collect Tony Japs there. The 58 of Kirby going to get in, and again, Grady Gherkin just kind of wrong place, wrong time. He's going to get collected in that one as well.
The 4.
I could be wrong, but I think did Sam Oliver finally make it through a caution? Maybe we should just key on him if we ever want to see where the cautions are. It seems like he's been involved in everything here tonight.
Here he is in the back. Looks like he's obviously got it slowed up to avoid what was going on in front of him. You see the 45 slow as well to make sure that you get by everybody. Just slow it up. We know the caution's out, and just let all the cars kind of stop and get going. You see the smoke in that 3 there as he waits for the 45 to go by before he gets back on the gas. So the guys in the back checking up just a little bit, and I guess just in time there for Peter Pazuchek as he was going down mowing the lawn. Definitely keeping Scott's lawn service out of business by doing their job for them. But yeah, another caution here. We are on currently on lap 23 of 117. Andrew Ratcliffe is now out front over Travis Bennett, so we did have a change for the lead with all that action in the back, but the front 3 remain the same with Andrew Ratcliffe, Travis Bennett, and Jake Lesh. Matthew Simons doing a good job in that number 49, up 8 spots, Carl. So maybe somebody here that we need to watch tonight, as he's been able to move up a few spots to all the action that's been happening in the back. And then JP Phillips ever so patiently in that 22, just maintaining a top 5 at the moment. And then our last week's winner, Tommy Ryan, up 3 spots in that number 60. So yeah, it's going to be interesting here. The guys up front are ever so patiently waiting for things to kind of iron themselves out in the back. As there a couple of the guys are just having a little bit of troubles holding on to the car, but great job so far by the guys out front. And then back up, see, 10th was in with Jordan, back there with Jordan Wenzel in the 81. Eric Jeffers finding that number 4 car after getting collected a little bit earlier, back up towards the front. So just working his way ever so slowly, taking his time, getting around the wrecks and stuff, and just having getting back to where he needs to be. And then Tim Glass having a good race so far, up 5 spots. That Wendy's machine knows that Burger King's out front, and I don't think Wendy's has that in them to let that go too far. So we'll see if that 18 can get up to the front and challenge that Burger King car. And then James Carman up 7 spots from the start, and 13th, Justin Kirby in the 58 as he was kind of wrapped up with some of that stuff earlier. And then Tony Japs in the 19th. Car looks good so far, as I know a lot of these guys are having to use their fast repairs extremely early. So I'm hoping that things will go green here. These guys will get going and get a green flag stop in, see how that kind of rolls out, and see how these pit strategies will work here tonight at Atlanta.
I guess if it's got to be clean, it's got to be tied. And for once, Tony Japs missing those early cautions. It seems like anytime we get these early race cautions, that 19 is one of the guys involved. So far so good. He is lean and clean out there. But we've got the order on the front row switched up this time, as it is Andrew Ratcliffe now going to be your control car on the inside, Travis Bennett on the outside, Jake Lesh and Matthew Simons on your second row. As pace car lights are out, we're going to get ready to fire these guys off one more time and complete lap 25 now of a 117. Pace car dives in, and Andrew Ratcliffe wasting no time jumping on the gas early, and that's going to give a good chance for Jake Lesh to just slide right into second, catching Travis Bennett off guard there a little bit. And yeah, it seems like that top line is where you want to be on that restart to get the good run, as you see Lesh doing the same thing, jumping up top. You see the run right there by the 49 of Simmons, going to get by JP Phillips as well. But Andrew Ratcliffe getting out front once again, another race where you're seeing that 24 out front and grabbing some laps led.
Yeah, it's not a rare sight for that 24 to be out front, that's for sure. As he does a good job getting it there, and sometimes just gets caught up in maybe something or bad pit stop or whatnot. But Andrew Ratcliffe, no stranger of leading the field here, and doing a good job so far here tonight over the 7 and the 6 of Jake Lesh and Travis Bennett. And then, like I said, back here at number 49, doing a great job, showing that he's got some speed to hang with these guys. You can kind of see that there's a lot of different little lines being used, Carl. I mean, I know we talked about that high line, and maybe that's the place they want to be, but it looks like there's other lines out on the track that work as well.
Oh, there definitely is. I think you're wanting that high line to try and save the tires a bit and get that good run off the corner, but you see the middle line and the bottom line certainly working just as well, especially on the early runs here. People are probably going to use those low lines to gain some positions. As a 6 of Bennett loose through the corner, he's going to save it down the apron, hopefully keep that thing saved. And indeed he will. He's going to be a little slow through the quad oval here, catches the grass a little bit, and he's going to do a little maintenance on the front stretch, but we will stay green. Unfortunately, that 6 machine going to fall all the way to the back of the field, but no caution this time. So good save there by Bennett. Not I'm sure what he wanted to do, go from second all the way back to the back, but kept that car clean, and that's I think the bigger picture here, as we're only on lap 29 right now. But good job by Jake Lesh hanging on to the back of Andrew Ratcliffe. And Ratcliffe, he's only got 1 win out of 3 on this season, but he seems like he's been the man to beat all season so far, leading in every race. As he led 16 laps in the opener at Daytona, he led another 68 at the second race at Rockingham, going on to his one and only win, and then last week leading 65 laps before getting caught in some late race incidents that sent him towards the back, and some of the cautions and pit strategies kind of just jumbled everything up, and only finished in 6th last week. Worst finish of the season for him. So not exactly a bad thing, but he's been chasing Gritty Gherkin, who, Gherkin certainly has had some rough patches to start this thing, as he's been stuck in the back and getting involved in just about everything back there, as he's sitting in P14 right now, back of this long line here out front, as there are 14 guys kind of in this little mini breakaway before you go about a second and a half back to 15th of Brandon Zimmerman.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are doing a good job. They're kind of, I mean, they're very close together, and not everybody's using the exact same line, so it's just what's working for the driver at the time. You see the 49 going down to the inside to get to the inside of that 22, pull up alongside of Jake Lesh, but it looks like the outside is able to carry that speed, and he's gonna lose a little bit of distance there to the 7, I would say, but he's gonna put the 22 up high. The 7 of Jake Lesh is gonna come down low, kind of maybe slow down his run, go back up to his buddy 22 and see if he can pull him along and keep that 22 and 49 battling, and maybe leave Jake Lesh alone.
Yeah, we talk about buddies, and it brings me to the other championship standings, and that is the team standings for the Top Gun Cup so far this year. It has been turn and burn at the top, as they got 1,028 points. Full Throttle in second with 902. Then you got Sprunk International in third. Black Magic Motorsports in fourth. Mid-Pack Motorsports in fifth. And then Inca Salsa rounding out the team championship standings right now in 6th place. But good battle here now as Tommy Ryan go to the inside of JP Phillips, as the outside line maybe where Phillips feels nice and comfy, but he's been losing some positions there, but he gets a great run off the outside, or maybe just a bad run by Ryan on the inside there, as he's going to lose another position there to the 81 of Jordan Wenzel as well, but now fighting back on the inside and still battling there for the 6th, actually for the 5th position for the top 5, but out front Andrew Ratcliffe starting to stretch out just a little bit. He's out to about 0.4 of a second now, and not a shock there. I mean, Les tried to do all he could to stay with him as long as he could on that restart there, and try maybe battle him really quickly for the lead. But once that 24 gets wound up a little bit, he gets just that much faster than everybody else, and starts to stretch out his lead, and that's what he's doing right now. But gotta still give credit to that 7, as he's not letting him just walk away from this field. He's staying within the draft, and that's what he's got to do right now, as Phillips looks like he's going to move back to the inside and try and get himself back up into 3rd, and he's going to clear Matthew Simons coming off the corner. So hopefully now that these guys have some laps on these tires, they got them heated up a little bit, they're not going to be as, as steppy as they've been. And it seems like on the first couple laps when these tires are a little bit cold, they really just want to step out, in the blink of an eye, and that could be really troublesome for these drivers.
Yeah, I mean, they're cold, and just like, I mean, I do a lot more road racing than oval, and I know tire temp's a huge thing, and getting them a little bit sticky is good. You want them to stick. You don't want them so hot they're greasy and you just, you have no traction. But getting the tires warmed up so where they stick, so you can basically do what you want with a car. You can go down to the low to the inside. You can ride up on the high to the inside. You're not fighting the car so much because your tires are going to work with you. But right now, doing a great job. Tommy Ryan is in the inside of that number 49. Looking to take away P and number 4 as they are 2 by 2. Got Tommy Ryan and Matthew Simons, and then you have Jordan Wenzel and Trevor Hunt as they go 3 wide here. So hopefully you keep it together. You just kind of hold your breath there a little bit as they're able to work that out. And Tommy Ryan will take P and number 4 with Jordan Wenzel, the 81 in the 5th spot.
I think the other thing that kind of gets maybe lost a little bit is when it comes down to science a little bit when it comes to tires. I mean, when these teams are, obviously these guys aren't inflating their tires, and whatever Scott Bolster sets the tires to, that's what they are. But typically tires are kind of underinflated a little bit, and that's for when the big impact into the inside wall on the backstretch. Looks like it's the 59 of Trevor Hunt, no yellow flag, but once the tires start to heat up, the hot air expands as we get another one sliding there. I can't get a thought in without these guys getting a little loose right now. But the tires start to expand a little bit, and then they start to kind of, again, if they're underinflated, they're not getting a huge contact patch, but as they start getting hotter, they start to expand, and they have more of a contact patch with the ground. Now, that can go too far, like Jimmy said, when you hear about tires getting too hot and they get a little bit slick, the hotter they get, the greasier they're going to get, and the less contact patch you're going to have too, because you're going to be essentially overinflated. So there's certainly some things that kind of work behind the scenes, if you will, that maybe you don't think about too much, but these guys have got to worry about lap in and lap out and through every turn. But I'll tell you what, Andrew Ratcliffe not getting away, as these guys are all over the backside of him. Jake Lesh still right there, still trying to get around, trying to find a way around. He's got JP Phillips right behind him. Tommy Ryan was looking on the inside of all 3 of these guys on the last turn. He's still working that inside, and not surprising that Ryan is kind of working the lines that these other guys are not. It seems like that's what works for him every week, what doesn't work for everybody else.
Yeah, just different driving styles, and it's good to see that these guys can use more than just one line, as he is able to use that low line to get underneath the 22 and get past them there. So Tommy Ryan up to P number 3, just got around that number 22 machine, and now has his sights set on the number 7 But also another guy making a great pass there is Brent Kirby in the number 57 as he was able to get around Jordan Wenzel.
Battle now for second as Tommy Ryan going to go to the inside of Jake Lesh and had him cleared, but doesn't look like he wants to move up quite yet. He likes it on that inside, but that's going to give a little side draft and a run down the backstretch for Lesh. And he's going to move back in front going into turn 3. Can Ryan get a good enough run through the corner here to try and take that position back? Now they're still going to be side by side coming off the corner and give the slight edge to the 7 on the outside at the line. But all this is doing is letting that 24 now start to stretch out just a little bit as he's out there. It's over half a second and getting close to that point where he's going to stretch out far enough that he is going to break free from that draft. And these guys are going to have to get it gathered back in and get single file if they want to try and run him back down. As the 22 getting a great run down the backstretch and that inside line not being friendly right now to Tommy Ryan as he's falling back just a little bit. But now you're going to have the 7 of Lesh slide down in front of him a little bit. That's going to give him a draft off the corner. He's going to slide back into 3rd and try and make that run one more time.
Yeah, and then you can see Tommy continue to use the lower line. That's his preferred line there. He wants to get around Jake. He wants that to work. He's able to get up alongside him. He's just cannot carry that speed that the outside is carrying. So he's able to make the move, and he's just not able to basically slide up in front of him and slow him down a little bit. So we'll see how Tommy runs out and see if this is any worse on his tires. The guys are just kind of maintaining more of a line up on the upper side. So we'll see how this works out for them, Cole.
Well, and you can see, I mean, there's been a couple of times where Tommy Ryan has gotten a good enough run that he could just, kind of keep his foot in the pedal and slide up in front of Jake Lesh and almost pull the, for lack of a better word, a slide job, even though it's on asphalt. But all that's going to do is just heat up his tires. It's going to burn off the tire wear even that much quicker, and it's going to probably hurt him for the next at least corner, if not lap, if not a couple laps. So he wants to get by, but you can't make just an aggressive pass and just get it done just to get it done, because it's going to hurt you and you could possibly lose 2 more positions on the very next corner. But you see Brett Kirby moving himself up into 3rd place now around Tommy Ryan, and now the 58 back here of Justin Kirby getting around the 81. But now Jordan Wenzel going to fight back on the inside, clip the apron just a little bit, so that's going to get him a little loose, and it's going to allow the 58 most likely to get a run off the corner, but he gets a little bit loose. He will end up being ahead at the line, but they'll still be side by side going into 1. Right behind him, you got Stuart Alford trying to make his way up there as well, and Grady Gherkin right behind him as they almost went 3 wide again with the 3 of Ian Adams and the 19 of Tony Japs.
Yeah, Tony just kind of, keeping that low line, trying to stay out of trouble and just them guys race up there just a little bit. But right there for the pickings, that's for sure, is if those guys are to make contact, be able to get around them. As you can see, the 46 trying to get underneath 72 completely of Alfred Stewart and take that position away. But right now, the guy up front is Andrew Ratcliffe. He is out to a 1-second lead over Jake Lesh. That's over Brent Kirby, and then Tommy Ryan and JP Phillips continue to go seesaw back and forth.
And we've got possibly another caution. I see the 46 is stopped back there, and yeah, there is the caution. So not sure what happened to Grady Gherkin. We'll take a look back there and see as we start lap 50. Oh, the 58 of Justin Kirby, all kinds of out of order, and Gherkin going to slide down, and unfortunately he's going to collect Stuart Alford along with it, and hard impact for the 72, hard impact for the 46, your points leader. And not a good night for the little pickle here, as he has had 1 too many shunts early in this race, and not sure if he's used his fast repair, but considering everything that he's gone through so far and how clean that car looks, he may have already used a fast repair, and this could be a very, very long night for the 46.
Yeah, it's fortunate there as the 58 is just a little bit loose, and he checked up and went down a little bit and got into the 72. unfortunately, taking them both out, or at least giving themselves some damage. So yeah, like you said, hopefully Grady's got a fast repair or a one heck of a pit crew there that he can get that car down in there. As you can see, he's changing gears here so he can get back into a lower gear and get it down off the track, get this thing turned around. But everybody will be able to go high and get around.
I mean, all you need is duct tape, right, Jimmy? I mean, duct tape pretty much fixes everything. So just slap a bunch of duct tape on the front of that thing, and I mean, you can call it 200-mile-an-hour tape, whatever you want to call it. It's duct tape. Let's be honest. So we'll see if you can get that.
The big thing is is it down on power, and and does it drive straight? So I mean, that's the two biggest things. If you can get the crew to get in there and get some damage done. So. I don't know how true it is. I was talking to some other drivers within the league, and I heard that iRacing has changed how things are repaired. I know if you had steering repairs needed, that it was like the last thing that they would complete. So you get what they call a meatball flag here in iRacing, which when you get that, you have to come in the pits for required repairs, and your wheel would be like 45 degrees to the left. Well, you'd take your 5 minutes of required repair, and you come back out, and your wheel would still be 45 degrees to the left. So I don't know how safe that is with driving a real car, but I heard now that they put the steering a little higher on the list, and they kind of reverse it. So instead of arrow being, I guess, at the top of the list, they kind of reverse the order a little bit. So now steering is supposed to be done first instead of arrow. We'll see. I guess
it would make sense. I mean, obviously, it should be required that your car kind of drives a little straight.
Right.
And I've certainly been in those situations too, where again, like we talked earlier, the word crab walking. I've been in cars that have done that, and it's no fun. And I've been in cars that drive perfectly straight with the wheel 90 degrees to the left. So I mean, it's happened to me recently, about a month ago, in a dirt race. The car was completely. It seemed like it was completely wrecked in the front end, but it had all its speed, and it was just the fact that when I went into the corners was the only time where the wheel was straight, because I was technically counter steering. But either way, yeah, hopefully they do move that up there on the priority list, because it's kind of important to get that thing straight. But looks like the 93 of Michael Whitley Jr. was down 3 laps. He's going to get one of those laps back here via the wave around. Brady Gurkin going to stay on the lead lap as he's coming out of the pits right now. And pace car lights are out. We're going to get these guys re-racked and stacked and ready to go one more time. Tommy Ryan beating Andrew Ratcliffe out of the pits, so he will be your new leader as 3 seconds quicker on pit lane. So I mean, that's a pretty good sizable margin. It's not enough to say that he took 2 and the other guys took 4. So kind of weird that he is 2 to 3 seconds faster than everybody else. That's just a weird timing there. But it's going to put the 60 on the pole. Andrew Ratcliffe in second. Then you got Brent Kirby, Jake Lesh, and Jordan Wenzel making up your top 5. And Jimmy, we're about halfway through this race. Now with these guys all lined up together, I think it's a good time to give everybody out there a little love to hear it.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do a little bit of love to hear it as they are pacing down here to start, as they are now in turns 3 and 4 and getting ready to go back to green. Nice ship. just like that, folks, accidents can happen, as it looks like Ian Adams has lost control. And I'll go ahead and grab that, and it looks like Scott Bolster, Peter Pasucha, Grady Gherkin also all caught up in that, so we'll go ahead and slow this down so you can see Ian Adams losing control, not hitting the wall, nothing he can do right now. So now everybody is just along for the ride, and Tony Japs has nowhere to go, hoping for the ways apart.
The car to turn the right way, yeah.
Just did not work for the Tide Machine as he stopped the 3 from spinning. The 6 hard on the brakes. Oh my goodness. So the 6 getting wrapped up into that. Sam Oliver, Scott Bolster. It looks like James Carman getting around there. The 67 of Jeff Ryan. So everybody kind of slowing up there towards the end. But wow, it's these guys here just having a rough night in the back on these restarts with the colder tires, Carl.
Yeah, absolutely. And a few guys making some great moves to get around that accident right there. You see some of the guys there in the back, like Peter Brzuchek. He did make slight little contact there with Scott Bolster, but yeah, you got him, you got Grady Gherkin, all those guys slowing up, and even Eric Jeffers there you see coming pretty much to a complete stop. Yeah, and that's sometimes what you got to do. I mean, there's way too many times where guys see an accident and they see 4 or 5 guys stopped on the track. Oh, there's 4 or 5 spots that I can just grab for free. Yes, that's true, but most of the time when you're just hammered down and trying to run through that crash real quick, everybody else thinks that, you know, the wreck is finally stopped, so they're going to try and pull back out from their wreck, and that's where an even bigger wreck happens, and it's where feelings gets hurt, and it's a bad situation to be in. So the better position to be in most of the time is just stop on the track, and if you're faster, you'll find a way around. There's a reason they're in that wreck, and there's a reason that they're going to have some repairs to get done. Probably, you know, unless they're using a fast repair, they're not going to be as fast as you anyway. So just pass them on the track if that's the case, and go from there. You know, just roll that car up and get it stopped. So definitely want to give props out to the guys that did that. And looks like the 46 is finally got most of the damage repaired. Trevor Hunt back out there. You got Tony Japs, and Stuart Alford has kind of been one of those unlucky guys here tonight as well, just getting involved in some things. And James Carman there coming out. Ian Adams, hard impact into the wall. And if he doesn't have a fast repair, which doesn't look like he does unless he's still in the midst of towing that thing back to pit lane, that's going to be a tough one to repair, as he hit very hard on the wall by himself and then got launched even higher into the air by Stuart Alford. So we'll see if we even see that 3 back out there on the track right now. But as it stands out front, it is Andrew Ratcliffe leading these guys. Tommy Ryan slipping back a bit on that restart. Not sure if he just didn't get that car up to speed quick enough to stay up with these guys, or if he was maybe kind of hanging back, just saving a little bit of tires. But he falls all the way back from 1st back to 5th place right now, as it's going to be Ratcliffe, Lesh, Brent Kirby, I should say, JP Phillips, Tommy Ryan, your top 5, and then you got Simmons, Wenzel, Oliver, Ryan, and Zimmerman, your top 10. So Oliver maybe finally sneaking up high enough that he can avoid some of these incidents.
Yeah, and we talked about Sam, and like he said, he's no stranger being able to run a great race, and he's no stranger to adversity. And when I talked to him about, he messaged me and he was like, "Hey, I heard you guys, somebody that has a great league of 87s." And I was like, "Yeah, I know Scott Bolster over at UCRL, and they usually have great races and good strong competition." And he's a guy, he loves the 87, and that's just his favorite car on iRacing, and he wanted to join a bunch of guys that have, pretty much the same talent or maybe a little better than him, and so he can improve and, bring his talents along and, drive with other people. He also, his teammate, James Suggs, is also joined as well, but I don't think he was able to be here tonight as he's not in attendance. But we'll probably see James Suggs with UCRL as well, as I think he's still getting invited and making sure he's good to go. But right now, Andrew Ratcliffe, Jake Lesh, Brent Kirby, JP Phillips, Tommy Ryan, Jordan Wenzel, Matthew Simon, Sam Oliver, Jeff Ryan, and Brandon Zimmerman are your top 10. Then you have Justin Kirby, Tim Glass, Peter Pazuchek, Eric Jeffers, Scott Bolster, Grady Gherkin, Travis Bennett, James Carman, Tony Japs, and Trevor Hunt for your top 20. Then Stuart Alford, Michael Whitley Jr., Ian Adams, and Felipe Ramos for our 25-car field as we are getting ready to go green here with Andrew Ratcliffe.
And he is on the lap pedal. We're back racing here once again, completing lap 60. So we're past halfway and getting this thing fired off once again. A good restart for Ratcliffe as Lesh goes to the top and almost 3 wide behind him as you got Kirby on the bottom. He had for a second there JP Phillips looking to the inside, and they got pretty close coming off the corner as they are side by side down the backstretch for second. Brent Kirby trying to move himself into second. Lesh has been a fast number 7 out there tonight, hanging up there in second for quite a bit of the race, but Kirby is going to make that pass, and now Lesh has got the inside covered off by JP Phillips.
Yeah, and I think these guys have shown at the early run on the fresher tires, the inside is the way to go. Jake Lesh continuing to just keep working that outside. Keep his position and hopefully stay out of trouble as the 22 is now to his inside, looking over to take that E and number 3 away. But yeah, Jake Lesh going to use that high side. Just stay up there. Let the guys drive down there low. They know that he's out there. They're going to give him some space. It looks like he's going to get a little better run this time to maintain P number 4. But I think you can just see all the speed that he's carrying going to that corner, Carl.
So, as a driver, Jimmy, we're halfway through this race at this point as we now have a battle for the lead for a brief second there, Brent Kirby. But you've seen half of this race so far. You've seen the cautions that have entailed the first half of this race. Does it give you a little more sense of urgency? I mean, I know you're typically one of the drivers, and you know me and you both preach it every race: patience, patience, patience. But when you have a race like this in the first half that is filled with a bunch of cautions, does it give you a little more sense of urgency and a little more, damn the tires and just drive as hard as you can, get up through the field, get into a good position for when that, what seems like the inevitable next caution comes out, you're in a better position?
No, I as a driver here, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, the guys are having maybe some issues with the tires, but if I burn them up now, what am I going to have at the end? Because we did see them go for a long green flag stint, almost to the point where they were going to probably, within, 20, 30 laps have to come in and pit. So they definitely have the talent to do that. And they definitely have the speed to make it that far. So I wouldn't want to burn my tires up too much in case, not at this point. We're at, a little over the halfway mark. We're at 65 of 117 laps. So I want to, and with these guys using full tanks, I wouldn't want to be burning up my tires just quite yet.
Top 6, maybe top 7 here, breaking away just a little bit as it is still Andrew Ratcliffe out front, trying to hold off Brent Kirby as Kirby has shown him the inside just a little bit here and there, but still not going to be able to get it done. And still side by side for third as it looks like Lesh is finally going to hold off the 22 as he is rim riding that outside right now, and the 22 of Phillips going to get back to the inside. They're still side by side at the line. This time give the edge to Phillips as right behind them is a side by side action for the 5th spot, and that is Simmons on the outside and Tommy Ryan on the inside, and almost 3 wide coming off the corner right there. And very close, but you see, between the run off the corner and the side draft, how much that 7 is able to just make up that gap. And towards the back, everybody is battling in front of him, and he's able to run these guys down. Sam Oliver starting to sneak his way into the mix here as he is running in 7th place. Brandon Zimmerman kind of following suit right behind him, trying to stay in touch with that draft and catch up with his group as well.
Yeah, so we'll just go hop on board here with Sam as we're on top of his machine. I'll turn down the sound just a little bit for y'all. But you can see how close that everybody is. It's kind of battling for this, this first 6 positions. And not one car is like directly behind one another. Just trying to use any little bit of momentum that they can to maybe make a pass. So these guys are doing a great job up here of, great clean racing, great green flag, green racing here, and Andrew Ratcliffe is leading that charge here, and these guys are not going to let Andrew go tonight, and with all the cautions, Andrew just, to take all that time and effort to try to run now is it might not be good for him and his tires or his pit strategy, but right now he's getting the job done. He's out in the front leading these laps just like he likes, and then back here with Brandon Zimmerman is your next bunch right behind Sam Oliver. So at 65, 49, 67 you can see Jeff Ryan coming
very close there, and the 67 sucks the 49 sideways just a little bit, little arrow pull off the outside there. But yeah, I mean, I guess if there's anything, is we had a little slide back there in the back that looked like James Carman sliding sideways, but he will save it. If there's any benefit to cautions, it's that a leader doesn't get to break away, and it doesn't get, for lack of better words, boring at the front. Certainly not boring at the front of this race. The entire race here is biggest lead all race was I believe just a smidge over 1 second by Andrew Ratcliffe, but now it looks like JP Phillips is going to move himself into second place. Brent Kirby having a bit of a rough corner. He's going to slide back to fourth as Tommy Ryan starting to move his way back up through the field, and it seems like that 60 is getting pretty good on these long runs, Jimmy.
Yeah, I think we've seen that last week too. I think he talked about it just a little bit. That he said that his starts weren't the greatest, but once he gets going, just look out. Tommy's definitely has some. Got a great line. He's able to carry his speed to the corners and make up positions, as we've seen him. He led the race prior to, just had that last week he won, but the race before that he led a lot of laps and just was not in the right position for the ending. So, but Sam Oliver making a move, looking to take P number 4 away from Brent Kirby, and he's going to do so. So Sam Oliver up 15 spots here tonight at Atlanta.
Yeah, obviously getting a lot of airtime as he was the Core Vintage Series Season 7 champion there earlier last week. He was crowned in a very tight battle there with Dylan McDonald, and making the move over here as Jimmy said, and certainly no knock to the guys over in Core, but there's a ton of talent over
Jake
here
Lish.
that he will have to compete with several guys to try and get a win, let alone a run at the championship. Good save there by Jake Lesh as he did get a little sideways, and that's another good thing that running towards the wall can get you, is as soon as that back end steps out, it's right there at the wall, and it could just kind of even you out and straighten you out. But yeah, I mean, a good start here now, finally, I should say, for Sam Oliver, as he's moved into the top 5. And finally maybe getting away from those incidents in the back of the field, as this field's starting to stretch out just a little bit, as the top 3 kind of a small little breakaway from 4th, 5th, and 6th, which has a small breakaway from 7th through 11, and then about a second and a half back to the 7 machine of Jake Lesh as he slides all the way back there to 12th, and he will lead that pack that's towards the back right now.
Yeah, not too far behind Sam Oliver and Brandon Zimmerman. You have the 4 of Eric Jeffers and the 67 of Jeff Ryan. So trying to make his way up front to chase down his brother. But the number 4 has come a long way, Carls. I mean, he's still down 6 positions from the start. He started on the outside pole, and he's wanting to get back to the front. So that Baby Ruth is slowly getting there, and I think with these green flags run, he's going to find himself back up there in at least the top 5 here tonight.
Yeah, all I can say is, Barry, maybe just keep your mouth shut on that and just quietly watch, as it seemed like as soon as you're sitting here going with Jeffers tonight is when the incidents happen. So we'll just keep it down over there and just enjoy the magic of that 4 machine right now. But battle up front now, and Tommy Ryan has moved himself into second place. So the 60 is on the hunt once again. That Northern Hydraulics machine is looking for the lead again here this season, and once again it is the battle with Andrew Ratcliffe, as they are now 1 and 2. JP Phillips up there, Brent Kirby still up there in the mix And now you got Sam Oliver in the top 5. He is moving ever closer to the front as well. As it looks like another issue for the 7, as he is going to slide now all the way back into 18th position. As that car is certainly off pace. Not sure what's going on with the 7 right now, but we do have 22 drivers still in the field, 2 retirees, and we'll take a look now and see if we can see anything that happened.
Looks like this
was a lap before.
Yeah. See kind of what happened to Jake, as he was out front leading. So
yeah, there we go.
Yeah. They just.
I think it was, if anything, it was coming out of 2. Yeah, it looks like he had to chase that car all the way up the track, gets in the wall a bit, and then a good save, all things considered, as he comes out of the corner. But that's why he was a bit off pace. Didn't look like he hit anything. A little scrape of the wall, but looks like he's back up to speed right now. But up to speed is that 60 side by side for the lead. Still give it to Andrew Ratcliffe that time by, but as we start lap number 80, the 60 is getting racy and still making that bottom line work, and not going to get the pass done quite yet. Just kind of being patient down there. He's going to fall back behind the 24 once again, as Ratcliffe got a fantastic run out of 2. And he will have to re-rack and mount his charge once again. But we got multiple incidents here. Not sure where that was. We got the 19 I seen sideways, but then on the opposite end of the track, I seen the 6 was also slow. Looks like a little synchronized spinning there. Hard impact into the wall for the 6 of Travis Bennett. That was in turn 2 at the same time, and Tony Japs was sliding sideways in turn 3.
Yeah, so a couple of self spins here late in the race, and that's gonna bunch it up just a little bit. Maybe save some people or give people in the back a chance, and we're getting down to the line. So like obviously track position is at a premium right now. 81, lap 81 of 117. What do you do, Carl?
I mean, here I'm definitely coming in and taking 4 tires. I'm planning on this being my last pit stop. Obviously if we get a late caution, make a play at that time, but I mean, as it stands right now, these guys are good to go to the end. So there's no reason to come in after this unless, it's a situation where you think you're going to get jumped by guys taking some fresh tires. So I'm coming in here. I'm taking 4. I'm not, trying to take 2 and get any kind of track position, because I'm planning on this thing potentially going green the rest of the way. And it looks like everybody kind of echoing those statements. I don't see really anybody going for 2 tires. So I think this is the right call for all teams.
Yeah, I mean, just, the thoughts that go in your head. I mean, maybe somebody in the back taking the chance, maybe going 2 tires. I could see it happen, and we're going to see when they all come out how kind of the lineup goes here. As you can see, all the pit times are pretty much the same, real close to the 52, 53 era here. But Andrew Ratcliffe coming out in front over Tommy Ryan, Brent Kirby, Jordan Wenzel, JP Phillips. Sam Oliver is going to lose a couple spots, but obviously making sure he's got them 4 tires. Brandon Zimmerman's in 7th. Matthew Simons in 8th. Scott Bolser up into 9th, up 12 spots from the start. Justin Kirby in that 58 up 13 positions in 10th. So a lot of shuffling around. Looks like the back of the field is mostly up front now, and then like whoever's started in the front is now towards the back. So we'll see if the guys that were mid-pack and towards the back here a little bit can make things happen here as we're coming down in the final lap. So we're on now lap 83 of 117.
So if you haven't yet, please make sure you like and subscribe, as again, thank you to everybody out there that has done so far, as our numbers just continue to decline pretty rapidly here. And yeah, I mean, we hear the drivers every week, and we even hear from you guys as well that we put on some absolutely fantastic broadcasts. And I mean, you know, toot our own horn here. I think we do as well, but it's all credit to these guys right here. It's all credit to, you know, these guys putting on a great show, racing and race out, whether it's these guys here at UCRL, whether it's the guys over at Core, or, you know, any of the other guys that we have in our broadcasting family now, as we have quite a few, as I know Dylan's picked up a couple more broadcasts under his belt, as he's got one on Saturday nights that just started up, and that is the NSR Retro Cup, as they're a full-length league there on Saturday nights. He's going to have another one coming up on Wednesday nights, I believe, as well, and that's going to be the SSLMS, and that is going to be I believe, yeah, it's a super late model league. And then this Friday is going to be the Redline Racing League that I will be broadcasting with Mark Thomas, the man from across the pond over there. So give it a little European flair on Friday nights, and that's gonna be starting up this Friday with the ARCA cars. But these guys are getting ready to start back up one more time, and we are double filing it up. You got Andrew Ratcliffe back on the point again, and you have Tommy Ryan on the outside. So now we'll see what that 60 can do, and I feel like he's definitely got that long run speed. He's shown that. He's shown him, you know, falling back to fifth, even back even further, but clawing his way right back up as the run goes on here. So we'll see if he can kind of hang with that 24 on the restart just a little bit more, so that way when that long run speed comes in, he's that much closer to try and jump and take that lead. But they're going to make it through turns 3 and 4 here and get the green one more time. Pace car lights are out. We have got 34 laps to go, 33 at the line. Andrew Ratcliffe on the loud pedal, back racing here at Atlanta. And another good restart for the 24. The 60 of Ryan is going to fall into second place, but he's got Brent Kirby right there in third. And we know Kirby has been one that doesn't mind using up his tires a little bit to get up through the positions. But Jordan Wetzel getting a fantastic run at it too, as he tries to run him down in third place. Diving to the inside now, side by side for third, as Kirby tries to not only defend but also play offense and try and catch up to the 60 of Ryan. Back behind him, JP Phillips now moving into fifth place. Got Sam Oliver and Brandon Zimmerman battling there for sixth place. Right behind them is the 49 of Matthew Simmons, as Scott Bolster is going to go sideways, and that's going to collect a few cars. He gets to straighten out, but a few more definitely got involved.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and then SDK didn't pick up Scott as he was able to get his car collected and back going straight, but Travis Bennett has been involved as well. There's Scott Bolster going around, getting into
Jake Lesh.
Yeah, there's the 6 getting involved with Scott. So you see the bumper just falls off poor old Jake, and then that 59 of Trevor Hunt. Ooh, did he just snuck by him? Looks like Wendy's is going to pass Burger King tonight. So there goes Wendy's in the 18, going by Burger King, and then the 46 sneaking out there as well. But so Travis Bennett and Trevor Hunt, you can see Trevor lost it just as he went by. So we'll go ahead and just play that clip real here quick as we get Trevor's kind of point of view, what he's seen. Scott getting wrapped up with Jake. And that 59. Oh, I thought he stuck by right there. Oh, I don't know if that was net code or what, but that sends Trevor around. Gotta make people kind of go around Trevor as he's kind of locking her down. So yeah, that caution, them tires, getting the cold tires to warm up, trying to finish things up here at Atlanta. We are on lap 88 now of 117. The cold tires, Carl, I think is what's getting these gentlemen here tonight, as the cars just seems to be breaking loose. Maybe just a little bit too much gas, getting out of the turns, basically sailing the back end around just a little bit, or trying to catch that front as they chase it up the track. So, but
I'm gonna potentially been. It looked like Scott Bolster kind of went up the track a little bit and got alongside the 57 there as well, and it could have been the case of, or not the 57, the 67 there, just kind of stuck in the back end around a little bit as well. But either way, these guys will get gridded up once again, and our nurse reporter, Michael Whitley, slowly but surely catching back up to that lead lap, as he is now only down 1 lap and could use one more caution, as he is the first car 1 lap down right now. So we'll see if that Krispy Kreme machine can work his way back on the lead lap. But we've got 30 to go, going to be 29 this time by, as pit stop still ensuing. We're still under caution here late now, or later at least, in the race here, as it is still Andrew Ratcliffe out front, Tommy Ryan, Brett Kirby, Jordan Wenzel, and JP Phillips, your top 5.
Yeah, so now comes a question, is these couple laps, gonna affect these guys? And as the weeks in the past, we've seen just a couple lap older tires not really paying too much too much advantage to the guy that had the newer tires when it came down to the end. So we'll see how they work out here at Atlanta. I don't think it's gonna be anything different, but you never know where a couple lap newer tires will pay big dividends and give you that, a few places or even a podium finish. But right now, the guy out front is the number 24 of Andrew Ratcliffe over the number 60 of Tommy Ryan, and then Brent Kirby in at 57. Jordan Wenzel was faster in practice. He's showing that he has speed now. He's in 4th spot. Then JP Phillips, another contender, been up here all night, sitting in that 4th or 5th or 6th spot with Sam Oliver. And then you have the 65 of Brandon Zimmerman, the Matthew Simmons at the 49. Justin Kirby's up 14 spots right now, Carl, and sitting in a 9th spot. And then Eric Jefferson at a 4 car is now back in the top 10. So, and Peter Pazuchek, after having an early incident mowing the lawn, has found his way back into P number 11 where he started tonight. So good job on Peter here tonight. And then Jake Lesh is back up to, I think, 13th spot right now. Yep.
So these guys will double it up one more time here, as we are now on lap 90 and getting towards the end of this thing, as we're going to be 27 laps to go when we take the green flag. And it's getting to the point now that I feel like it's been there before for Tommy Ryan, where again he has a good long run car, but he keeps getting caught in these short runs at the end, and that seems to be where Andrew Ratcliffe has the advantage. He is definitely good on these short runs, and it certainly helps when you're the leader and you are the control car getting out on these early jumps. But don't count out that 57 right behind there of Brett Kirby, as he has been pretty good on the short runs. So is Jordan Wenzel there on the outside. These guys ready to jump, and it is Andrew Ratcliffe on the loud pedal first. Tommy Ryan getting a good enough jump there to slide into 2nd place, block off both lanes, as it'll be side by side between Kirby and Wenzel into 1. Give the advantage to the 57, but we've seen the 81 just get the massive run coming off the corner. And here comes again. He may have to look to the inside.
Was that close?
Woo! I mean, thank God there was no netcode in this case right here, as he gets to the inside and side by side for 3rd. But look at those guys just close up on that 24 coming out of the corner, and is a 4-car breakaway for the lead.
Yeah, that 81 had such a run coming off that corner, Carl. And really knowing, the width of his car, able to miss the 57 and get down to the onside, but looks like he's going to go to the high side and maybe think a little bit better of it, as maybe back off just a little bit, just in case 57 needs to slide up. They're going to go down into turn number 3. He's going to go to that high side again, so the spotter should be calling that out for the number 57. So, but as these 4 battle for the podium spots, that number 95 of Sam Oliver is just kind of waiting patiently, I think, Carl. He knows that he's the new guy on the block, and he just wants to have a good finish, especially from the start that he had here tonight. But then back here, the number 22 and the 49 fighting for that 6th position with JP Phillips and Matthew Simons in that 49 car. And then look, have no fear, the 4 is here. Back in P number 8 as he's slowly but surely working his way up to the front. I'm sure another couple cautions keep grouping these guys up, but he seems to be picking them off at a pretty decently, kind of just taking his time. He doesn't have that fast repair like he had in the beginning, so you really got to take care of your car right now. And as we only have a few laps remaining, as we're on lap 94 of 117.
So if you can't tell, the pace has certainly picked up just a bit, and you should be able to tell that from the guys that were out front as they were single file and trying to get as much draft off each other as possible to try and make moves. But it is certainly picking up out front as we got a battle now for 7th place, 6th and 7th. But now battle for the lead, as well as Ratcliffe is going to get challenged, but they are very close, and the 57 just going to slide up in front. And now here comes Jordan Wenzel riding the outside, very close there from Ratcliffe, almost getting in the back of Kirby. And Kirby going to slide all the way up. Here comes Ratcliffe on the inside, and they will get together. Hard impact is going to collect. Look like it collect Tommy Ryan there. He got through. But the 24 is just going to sideswipe the 19 as well, as big implications here late in this race.
Yeah, so 60 with the 24 had the momentum. It's the 57 coming down.
And they kind of came together.
Harder.
Yeah, the 57 came down a bit, the 24 sliding up. It looks like Jordan Wenzel just right place at the right time in this case as he slides underneath. Tommy Ryan getting into it a little bit. Sam Oliver getting around. Looks like the 22, the 49 getting around. The 4 of Jeffers getting around as well.
Yeah, so definitely able to get by. Oh, these guys are sweating bullets at the front, I'm sure, as that definitely going to stir things up and going to make some of the 24 and the 58. Was that the 58? Yeah, 58. Shuffle it up here just a little bit as he get back to go. But yeah, 24 is going to bring down. He should have his fast repair, Carl, and wire in here. Maybe get himself some fresh tires. See if he takes that. So our fast repair is done. Right, it's going up. You see Tommy Ryan also in as well.
Yeah, and what that's going to do, though, and unfortunately for both these guys, it's going to put them pretty far in the back, and now we only got 20 to go. If we get one more caution, I mean, it may not be enough time for these guys to even work their way back up through the field with even taking 4 tires, as 24 finally down and away. And not sure if the 60 had a fast repair or not, because he's still in the pits. But that's going to definitely switch up the front of this field, as now you have Jordan Wenzel finding himself on the front of this field. The 49 of Simmons in 2nd, Jeffers in 3rd, Justin Kirby in 4th, Brandon Zimmerman, your top 5. Then you got Porzuchek, Gherkin, Hunt, Oliver, and Phillips, your top 10. So some brand new faces up front and in the top 10 for sure. And don't look now, but pre-race reporter Michael Whitley back on the lead lap. So let's see what that 93 can do here late in this race, and see if he can exercise some early race demons, as he talked about it earlier in the interview, saying that he's had some good races and just things not working out his way, especially late in the race. Well, now it's kind of the opposite. The beginning did not work out for him, but he finds himself now back on the lead lap. Obviously gonna have to start in the back of the field with that lucky dog, but either way, he's on the lead lap. If he can work his way through some traffic here, it'll still be a good finish for that 93.
Yeah, he definitely has the potential to, by staying out of trouble, to get a good finish here. Currently sitting, where is he at? Oh, back there in 18th, so he's gonna fall back to the back of the longest line after he got his lap back. So, but yeah, in 18th spot, he has the opportunity to move through. Just gotta keep his nose clean. Hasn't been extremely fast, but I think just kind of keeping his nose clean and is able to at least get back on a lead lap. So that's a big feat, to be laps down and then get back on a lead lap before this thing is over. But we're on lap 98 of 117. The pace lights are still on the pace car, as I believe they might go off this time around.
Yeah, it should be off this time by, as we are 19 to go. It'll be 18 to go when we take the green flag here. And we talked about track position with the 24 and the 60 now being certainly out of position back there in 10th and 13th. They got a pretty decent amount to make up here. So we'll see what they can do in these last remaining laps. If it goes green all the way, there's certainly some time to make their way up through the field as they're lined up back to back. So it's actually looks like it is the 24 and 11th and the 60 and 13th. So that's where they'll be starting here. But on the front row, it is the 81 of Wenzel, the 49 of Matthew Simmons. So let's see what these guys can do. And then, oh, by the way, that 4, your pole sitter, is now 3rd.
Yeah, Eric Jeffers, I need to correct myself from earlier. I said he started in 2nd place, but yeah, definitely taking a pole tonight and not, falling to the back and just having a rough start. To find himself here at lap 100, back in the front, back in the podium position currently. But when this pace car comes off, he needs to stick to that tailcoat of the 81 and get to the front and see if he can make a run at him. And hopefully that takes him the 24 a while to catch up.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the Pulsar taking 100 laps to find his way back to the front. I mean, as long as you find your way back there one way or another, it's good. But these guys will dive it off into 1. It is Wenzel that is going to lead these guys to the backstretch. But you see, almost like a super speedway, that leader gets a good start, but it allows these guys right behind him to just really reel him in, come off the corner. Nobody going to be close enough to make a move as they're side by side behind in 2nd place. As the battle between Simmons and Jeffers wages on 3 wide back here as Ratcliffe trying to make his way through the field. Unfortunately, Tommy Ryan stuck behind this 3-way battle, had nowhere to go. He's going to have to fall in line back there in 12th position as Ratcliffe now on the inside of Tony Japs trying to make the pass there for 9th. And the battle up front as Jeffers is going to just barely be ahead in 2nd place as he breaks a little bit later than everybody else going into the corner. He's going to clear right now. And Justin Kirby up as high as he's been all night now into 3rd place, trying to make a move on Simmons. And here comes Jeffers diving to the inside of the 81. He's got Justin Kirby right behind him as well. Both these guys trying to make their way around the 81 and move themselves into the lead. Briefly is the 4, but not a good run out of the corner for sure for either of those guys. Wenzel going to stretch it back out front. At the line, we're going to have 15 laps to go.
Yeah, 15 laps to go, and here comes the 24. He's now under Grady Gherkin, so, Andrew Ratcliffe doing everything possible to get back up front. He knows that his laps are limited here as we're down to 15 laps, but he has already moved himself back up in that 6th spot, and he knows that a little bit of urgency if you're going to get himself on the podium. He's going to get slowed up by the 58 just a little bit, kind of go up towards the wall as the 58 continues to have a little bit of issues kind of getting that run out of turn 2. When you see the 58 just a little bit loose there with the 24 on the outside. So I'm sure Andrew's like, hold it just a little bit longer. But he's going to go to the outside now. So he's making passes inside, outside. Now he's looking to the outside of Brandon Zimmerman, and is going to try to look to take that 4th position away from that 65.
Jeffers to the outside and now trying to get by the 49 of Simmons. And here comes the 24 of Ratcliffe trying to work his way back up towards the front. Unfortunately, Tommy Ryan still stuck back there in 10th position, and the time is starting to run out here a bit as we're going to complete lap 104 this time by, and there's going to be 13 laps to go. At the line, it is still Jordan Wenzel. Eric Jeffers sneaking into 2nd by just a fender that time by, and possibly holding up the 24 right now. So I don't think Jordan Wenzel minds this battle behind him at all, as now the 24 is going to get a good run and enough to help the draft of the 4 pull ahead. And now it is Eric Jeffers easily in 2nd, but Ratcliffe right there, and they're about to go 3 wide behind them.
Wow.
And on the inside, Tommy Ryan. On the outside, your points leader Grady Gherkin, as both of these guys go around Brandon Zimmerman on either side as they're trying to make their way up to the front of this race late. And we've got another caution, as it looks like back in the field, Tony Japs, or
Tim Glass.
no, that might be Tim Glass involved in this one.
It looks like Tim Glass kind of getting wrapped up here. Oh, just hitting the wall.
Yeah, and that was kind of weird. That almost looked like it, like in a netcode, sucked the 6 into him, as both those guys will go for a little slide through turn 1.
It's a little slide there by the fast food
72
cars.
of Alfred just sneaking by on the outside.
Yeah, that's one of the times, like, you know, most of the time you let off the gas, but, you know, sometimes maybe I think the 72 was in the gas. So let me get by to the 18 as they wrecked there. But so 18 in the 6 getting wrapped up to there. And that's going to bring this thing down to, you know, down to the wire. You know, and I don't know if this is something Jordan Wenzel or Andrew Ratcliffe wants. Eric Jeffers sitting in that P number 3, Matthew Simmons in 4th, Justin Kirby is in 5th, Tommy Ryan's in 6th, Brandon Zimmerman's in 7th, Grady Kirkins in 8th, JP Phillips is in 9th, Peter Brzucek is in 10th, Trevor Hunt is in 11th, Tony Japs in 12th, Jake Lesh 13th, Scott Bolster 14th,
Very
Sam Allred.
interesting year.
Wow.
As just about the entire field are going to come into the pits here. We'll see. I can definitely see some 2-tire pit stops here, but the 81 of Wenzel are going to stay out. The 22 of Phillips going to stay out. The 19 of Japs going to stay out. And the 7 of Lesh and the 45 of Bolster and the 6 of Bennett all staying out here. So the top 6 now all out there, and not exactly on used tires. I mean, these guys have just been in there on lap 96. The 81 last pit on, well, lap 81. So we'll see how these tires hold up. Obviously, we have some caution laps in between, but surprising here on only 12 laps, not all of them being on green, that these guys decide to come into pit lane. But that's going to shuffle it up, and it's going to be Peter Brzucek getting out there first of the guys that came into the pits, as he takes 2 tires. Then you got Eric Jeffers, Andrew Ratcliffe, Grady Gherkin that are going to make up your top 10 for the guys that came into pit lane.
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting, Carl. You know how, I mean, lap 108, and they've been racing hard. But we know that these tires of the leaders, the first top 6, their tires are warm, they're ready to go, and they're ready to race. Now, back from Peter Brzucek back, guys that just came in, where they do have better tires and essentially should be faster, obviously. But these guys have been having problems with fresh tires, so I'm hoping that they can control the go of those cars and able to get a good finish, or it pays off for them where they're able to come up through the field. So a lot of faith in the guys on a little bit older tires, and the guys on the newer tires are gonna have to take their time, because the guys with the older tires are not gonna want to give up these laps. So we are on lap 109. I think we have 2 more laps to go, so this time by, and I think 1 more, so we should go green on lap working on 111, so that will give us 8 laps to race here. So we'll see if the 4-tire changes of Peter Brzucek and everybody behind him will pay off for them.
Well, that's really what it comes down to, is there going to be enough time? I mean, the time is starting to tick down here, and we get 1 more caution and get this thing in that green-white checkered. It's going to be playing in the hands of that 81 of Jordan Wenzel if he can keep that thing out front. So JP Phillips there in 2nd. That has 15 lap fresher tires than him, but again, certainly some of those being run under caution. But yeah, this time by, we're completing lap 109 and should be seeing the pace car lights go off this time by. And if that's the case, 8 laps to go, as we will take a look right now. And indeed, we are 1 to green. Jordan Wenzel out front. You got JP Phillips, Tony Japs, Jake Lesh, Scott Bolster, your top 5. Then you got Travis Bennett in 6th. And then you got the guys that came into the pits. You got Peter Brzucek taking 2, and then pretty much the rest of the field behind him taking 4 tires. Very interesting to see our 2 guys at the top of the points. They're lining up side by side now, as you have the 24 of Andrew Ratcliffe 2nd in points, the 46 of Grady Gherkin on the outside there. the points leader. And then right behind Gherkin is that 60 of Tommy Ryan. Certainly wants to get up there and mix it up for another win. As good as that car has been on the long run, ain't gonna be no more long runs in this race, so he's gonna have to find that short run speed and find it quick. Got held up a bit in traffic this last restart, so we'll see if he can do a little bit better this time. But everybody gonna be chasing the 81 now. He is the control car once again, and this thing is getting ready to go back green for 8 laps, hopefully all under green, and really give us a good show here to the end. As the pace car going to make that left-hand turn once again, hop into the pits, and hopping on that loud pedal is the 81 of Wenzel. Gets a great restart. The 22 of Phillips going to fall in right behind him. Jake Lesh finding himself right back up there after some mix-ups with the wall, some just rough couple laps there, sent him from the front all the way to the back, but now he finds himself all the way back to the front. And you can pretty much say the same thing about Bennett, who gets into the wall a little bit, and the 24 and 60 nearly getting together. Now the 60 of Ryan making a bold move to the inside, and it is getting crazy up front. The 19 and the 46 stuck together on the outside. Bolster getting into it, and that is going to bring out another yellow, and they might still be wrecking on the front stretch.
Yeah, there's a lot of wrecking going on as they continue to go through, trying to collect any position possible. But right now, Jordan Wenzel, JP Phillips, Jake Lesh, Eric Jeffers for your top, and then Travis Bennett in your top 5. Looks like Tommy Ryan has made it up to 6th, and Andrew Ratcliffe in the 7th. So we'll go ahead and we'll go back there to the 19, getting into the. Looks like he just lost it just a little bit. I'm going to rewind this just a little bit so we can see the whole thing.
That could be another situation like what we talked about. I know the 19 already loose right there, sliding up the track, trying to catch it, but unfortunately, once he does catch it, it is the 46 that catches it for him and sends both of them into the wall, and that's going to be the night for Grady Gherkin. The 24 sneaking by, the 49 sneaking by, and then you see, I don't know if if Kirby got into the back of Bolster there or not, but it sends him sideways, and then Kirby a little bit slow out of the corner. I think that ended up kind of bunching everybody up once Bolster came back up on the track in front of the 59 right here. As it looked like they were just about 4 wide in my mirror there, and
yeah,
Kirby coming together with Trevor Hunt there a little bit, and it sends Kirby hard into the outside wall. So this is certainly working out in the favor of Jordan Wenzel, though. He is certainly more than happy to run a few more laps under caution and keep that 81 out front. And same goes for JP Phillips and Jake Lesh, as all 3 of these guys did stay out. Eric Jeffers has jumped his way back up into 4th place now, and he's on those fresh tires, pitting on lap 107. Right behind him, Travis Bennett got a little brush with the wall on the outside on that restart, but he still has kept that thing up there in the 6th place. And then he's got the 2 guys that have been battling out up front for a lot of this race in Tommy Ryan and Andrew Ratcliffe breathing down his neck, but they're all still chasing that 81. And if I'm not mistaken here, we're going to be under a green-white checkered, as this thing is just about ready to wrap up. I don't think we're going to get the 1 to go this time by. I think it'll still be 2 to go, so it might be an unofficial green-white checkered, so we may get, technically 2 cracks at this if they would need it. As, still 2 to green here at Atlanta, and right now we are sitting at 4 laps to go.
Yeah, and this has been a long race for these drivers. They've been in the cars now, not only through their practice, but the races. They've been in for this race for an hour and 33 minutes, and I'm sure some frustrations going on, and self spins and getting tied up in something that's not your fault. And to be out here, I mean, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars out of the 24, so down to 18 cars, or 17 cars still on the track. So, Brent Kirby, obviously, or Stuart Alford is out there. He's 9 laps down, so, rough day for Stuart, but he's still out there logging laps, maybe get another position, as, his night is pretty much done. But, Jordan Wenzel is going to have his hands full with with JP Phillips and Jake Lesh, let alone Eric Jeffers on them newer tires from 107, and Eric, you know, qualified in the pole, and it took him all race to get back up here to where he can possibly get a podium and even a win. So he's got himself in a good position. So we'll see how well that Baby Ruth car launches at the start here, as I believe the lights are off on the pace car, and we are now down into turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, this will be a green-white checker, but it will not count towards the one and only green-white checker that these guys can run. So if we were to get another caution before the white flag, we would still have one more green-white checkered. We'll see how this thing plays out. Maybe these guys just finally settle this on this run right here. But Jordan Wenzel is going to be your control car once again. And, you know, most places, most tracks, it is good to be the control car, and it still is here. But you see how much those guys just reel you in coming out of 2. So he's really got to be looking in the mirror coming out of turn 2 and watching to see where that run's coming from, where he's got to potentially block to try and keep this lead and keep it going into turn 3. I don't think his tires are that much more worn that he's got to worry about it too much, but those guys do have 26 lap newer tires than him. About to all play out here. Pace car hops into the pits once again. Hopping on the lap pedal again is the 81 of Wenzel. Good restart for him. He's going to clear these guys and head into 1 side by side for 2nd, side by side for 4th, as they bump a little bit as Tommy Ryan looking for a way around, stuck behind Jacob Lesh right now. And Jake gonna get into the side of Phillips, but unfortunately your leader gonna lose it out of 2. We're gonna keep it green here, as up front now about to be 3 wide. Eric Jeffers going in the middle. A little bump there with Ryan as they're still 3 wide at the line. 1 lap to go here at Atlanta. Man, it took a while for them to get my blood pressure up, but here it is. 1 lap to go, 3 wide. Don't count out that 49 yet, as he's trying to get in the mix. But Eric Jeffers took him 117 laps to get back to the lead from the pole. He's got it now heading into 3. Tommy Ryan again might be stifled here with a good long run car, as it is Eric Jeffers. Barry, now you can celebrate.
Wow. The fact that Eric went from the pole to the back and like on the first lap, and to be there at the end, what a drive by Eric Jeffers. The timing was there. You know, they have a great finish. I mean, I'm sure that is not what he was about thinking that he was going to have tonight. Tommy Ryan doing another great job with the 2nd place. JP Phillips and that 22 Milwaukee machine finishing in 3rd. And then Matthew Simons in that 49 getting a great finish here tonight. Andrew Ratcliffe finishing with a P number 5. So a late incident putting him to the back, and maybe the late pit strategy might have cost him. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, his car was so fast, Carl. I thought he was gonna be able to come up through anyways. But and then Brandon Zimmerman is in 6th. Jake Lesh finishing in 7th. Trevor Hunt in 8th. Peter Przuchek having a great night, finishing in 9th. Sam Oliver's debut here at UCRL finishing in 10th. Scott Bolster up 10 spots tonight. Scott is just he's like, I swear he's just the king of the getting into those top 10s, and he was almost there tonight, up 10 spots, but finishing in 11th. And Travis Bennett finishing in 12th. Mike Whitley Jr. Didn't have the start that he wanted, as he didn't put in a time, but he did finish in 13th spot after being, what, Carl, 3 laps down?
Yeah, at least 3 laps down from what I've seen. Yeah, it was a good fight back for the 93 machine.
Yeah, and then
man, it's horrible for Jordan Wenzel, but yeah, I'll let you go ahead and finish out.
Yeah, Tim Glass in 14th, Tony Japs in the 19 car in 15th. Jordan Wenzel with a tough break, had the lead, lost the rear of the car. What a heartbreak there for the 81, finishing in 16th position. Justin Kirby in 17th, and Grady Gherkin, the points leader, just not his night's night, finishing in 18th. Stuart Alford in 19th, Brent Kirby in 20th, Jeff Ryan in 21st, James Carman in 22nd, Ian Adams, another rough night here, finishing in 23rd, and Felipe Ramos finishing in that 24th position. So a long night here, Carl. 119 laps, in out of 117 for Eric Jeffers to come away with a three wide pass at the end to take the lead.
Yeah, it probably felt more like 317 laps for these guys here tonight, but I mean, it took every bit of 117 laps for Eric Jeffers to finally get back to the front, and he was on the pole. So I don't know what he was waiting for to finally lead a lap, but he has done it at the right time. It looks like we don't have our third place finisher of JP Phillips, so we'll go ahead and Jimmy, why don't you go ahead and take our second place finisher, and that is Tommy Ryan.
Hey Tommy, it's Jimmy and Carl up in the booth. And copy.
Yes, sir.
Hey, another great race here. You know, being able to walk away with a second place. And again, like last week, your car just seemed to be very fast on the long run and not so fast on the shorter runs. And with the amount of cautions here tonight that plagued the guys here with the self spins and some wall contact, did that really hurt your strategy and not being able to run this thing out for a lot longer of a run?
Yeah, my whole strategy was hopefully we were going to get a long run. I just didn't want to abuse the tires on a short run, you know, if in case it did finally get sorted out, but obviously it never did. It almost did that one. And me and Andrew were getting ready to go to battle there. But of course the caution came out, and then it was just like, well, here we go. So then I just had to get my mindset about sprint racing and, you know, get everything prepared for that, and then kind of went for it there. I was just a little bit too tight on the end. So good win for Eric though. He's been up there in contention several times, but yeah, good night. We'll get him on the next one, I guess.
Yeah, it was interesting, but you know, at least you were able to get away with that P number 2 and kind of put this one behind you and move on to next week or 2 weeks from now. And go ahead and attempt there. And you guys next week are at you are at Darlington. So how do you feel your chances are at Darlington when you guys get there on the 18th?
I love that racetrack. I only live just about an hour and a half from it, and go there quite often, and love racing there and love going there. So chances are good, man. I'll say that.
Well, that's good. I mean, you've been showing that you have speed week in and week out, and you're just not just not your night back there on the second race, but you pulled away the win the last race, and this week finishing in P number 2. So congratulations on second place. Give you a little bit of time to give any shouts or thanks that you may have.
Yep. Thanks to my sponsor, Northern Hydraulics, or we call it Northern Tool and Equipment these days. And teammates, we're always bouncing off each other, you know, ideas, pit strategy, things like that. So thanks, guys from Black Magic, and thanks for Scott putting up with everybody. I know he's got some mess to deal with every once in a while. So, yeah, we'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
All right, Tommy, we'll catch you in a couple weeks.
Later.
All right, that the driver of the 60, Tommy Ryan, your second place finish here tonight. And now we bring in your winner, and that is the driver of the 4, Eric Jefferson. And Eric, I guess, I mean, looking at the season so far, maybe not exactly the start of the season you wanted to see. Certainly had some good qualifying spots as you started in second place at the opener, started in 10th place at Rockingham, and then in third place, or actually in I just lost it now. At Richmond, you started up there in the front as well as you started in third place there. You finally grabbed the pole here tonight, but you know, you had some good starting spots so far this year and have not led a lap. Did you really have to wait 117 laps as the pole sitter to lead a first lap here?
Yeah, better late than never, I guess, right?
I mean, it's the only lap that matters, really. So, I mean, I guess it's meant to be.
What a strange night. Put it on the pole, but I really wasn't very good in race trim. Even in practice, I was just never that comfortable. And, had the first lap incident with Grady. I'll have to go back and watch it, but I think that was my fault. And so sorry again to him. But, I don't know. I was out to lunch for a lot of the run tonight, but There was some attrition and, through survival and a little bit of strategy and a couple of timely cautions, we got it done. So sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, I guess.
Well, and talk us through the passes we're watching it right now. Going up through the middle, you got Tommy right on the inside, who's been fast all night. And you got JP Phillips on the outside, who is certainly no slouch of being fast up there all night tonight as well. And you go ahead and throw it into the middle coming out of turn 3. And it ended up being the race-winning pass.
Yeah, Tommy's really good. He's one of the fastest cars every week. So, I was pretty comfortable running with him 3 wide. But I know it was definitely really close, but there was a hole and I had to go for it and pulled it off. So, it feels really good. I run in like 3 different leagues and I just haven't been able to win anything lately. I've finished second a million times, just could never win. So finally got one. Feels good.
Well, I hear you on that, and it's got to feel good getting it done here for this season as well. I mean, he kind of had a bit of a rough start to the season. He came away with the second place last week, but like I mentioned, not a single lap led all season, and seeing you on the pole here tonight, I thought you'd finally have a pretty decent race, but as you said, maybe not really feeling the race trim, but you had it when it counted. You got there at the end, and when you had the second last restart there, you were starting back a bit. Obviously, you had some fresh tires. You had the 4 tires compared to everybody else in front of you. Did you feel like there was enough time if that thing went green from there?
Yeah, when that last caution came out, I was actually kind of disappointed because I thought I was going to be in a better spot if that just went green, but restarting 4th, you'd rather restart on the top, roll the top line through 1 and 2. And I don't know. Usually cautions come out and hurt me, but tonight I actually got a couple and I needed them for once.
Well, you got it done here. You got your first win now on the season. Looking at the rest of the schedule, obviously in a couple weeks you guys are back in action at Darlington, but is there any tracks that you feel that might suit this Baby Ruth number 4 to maybe grabbing a second win in the season?
Yeah, generally I feel like the 1.5 miles or the Atlanta's, Michigan's, tracks like that are usually my strong suit. I think we got a road course on the schedule. I won't be talking to you guys that night. That's for sure. But usually the 1.5 miles are the best. Usually the short tracks I'm lacking a little bit. I know I finished second at Richmond last time out, but I think we got Darlington. Yeah, I enjoy Darlington. I'm not the best around there, but it's a fun track to drive and hopefully have another good race. I've been making too many mistakes this week this season. I need to just have a night where I don't screw up because I haven't had one yet.
Well, one of your only 3 night races for the season next week as well at Darlington. Do you feel like that might help the balance of these cars out a little bit? As it seems like a lot of these cautions are either from guys just kind of losing the back end themselves, or even tonight it almost seemed like there was a little bit of a arrow that was kind of when guys are running side by side on the outside, kind of sucking that car on the inside around.
Yeah, the bottom through 1 and 2 was really tough. The top line was definitely preferred. So if you were under somebody, it was really easy to spin. But these cars tonight were really on edge. Scott built us a challenging setup, which is a good thing. You don't want these cars on rails because that's not fun either. So it was definitely challenging. Had to take care of it. It was really easy to make the right rear tire angry, and then you were kind of hurt for the next couple laps. But the night race, cooler temps might be a little more drivable, might be a little better.
Well, either way, you got it done in the daytime here on this one, and going from the front to the back to the front, and getting that Baby Ruth machine into victory lane. So we'll give you some time to give any shout outs or thanks that you have.
Yeah, about a shout out to the 60 and the 22, just for that finish. That was good, tight racing. We were 3 wide, and I don't think we even made any contact. I mean, it was really close, but thanks to those guys for a good race there, and thanks to Scott for the league. This is fun every week. This wasn't our best race tonight, but that happens. So on to next week. We're see you on track in the Gen 4, right?
You'll see Jimmy out there for sure.
Yeah, you will see me there.
Good luck with that. That's all I gotta say. He's got a little taste of the top 10 in points, and he's feeling himself a little bit. So so good luck out there. He may have the same width of a car, but that head might be sticking out the side window just a little bit.
You have created a monster.
We had a lot of fun at Daytona last week. We had 30 cars, and I don't think we ever had a yellow until like 5 to go.
Yeah.
So nice. I think that series, those cars, I think that's going to be a lot of fun too. So
I never thought getting Jimmy out of the booth would cause less yellows, but whatever works for you guys. I mean, that's I'm not going to knock it. But congrats again on the win here tonight, and hopefully you can maybe try and go back to back, as you said you like the mile and a halfers. So Darlington may play into your favor next week, but we'll see if you can get up there and maybe lead more than one lap next week.
Yeah, I mean, if I just lead the last one again, that's fine with me.
Yeah, if you got to lead one of them, that's the one to do it. Yeah, for sure. All right, we'll let you go and celebrate with the guys.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, that's your winner here tonight, the 4 of Eric Jeffers. And yeah, I mean, the old cliche, better late than never, Jimmy.
Yeah, I mean, he just did a great job. I mean, things went his way after they did not. So they bring up number 4, get the pole, and then I think the night is probably almost done as you see everything slip away and go to the rear, and then have to fight like tooth and nail, miss accidents, get some cautions in your favor, and just drive it back to the front and be there at the right spot at the right time. So, like some say, it's better to be lucky than be good, but it takes a lot of talent and to avoid those wrecks, and a big chess game, putting yourself in the right spot at the right time. So good run there by Eric and the rest of the gang. I'll go ahead and pull up the results again as we're watching Eric do some donuts here on track. But yeah, Eric Jeffers bringing it home over Tommy Ryan, JP Phillips in 3rd, Matthew Simmons with a great run in at number 49 and 4th, Andrew Ratcliffe able to come back to 5th, Brandon Zimmerman in 6th, Jake Lesh and 7th, Trevor Hunt's in 8th, Peter Przuchek in 9th, Sam Oliver in 10th. Then you had Scott Bolster, Travis Bennett, Michael Whitley, Tim Glass, Tony Japs, Jordan Wenzel, Justin Kirby, Grady Gherkin for our top 18, and then the rest of the fellows back there: Stuart Alford, Brent Kirby, Jeff Ryan, James Carmen, Ian Adams, Felipe Romas for our 24 car field. And Carl, like Eric was saying, maybe not the race that everybody wants. It was what was dished out tonight. The guys made it through. Most of them stuck around until the end and got the positions they deserved, or the positions that they tried to deserve. So it's racing, and not every race is going to go from the drop of green to a checkered flag every race, and incidents happen. And it's a hobby, and not everybody that races is a professional. So, and you're racing around people with all different skill levels. So, good luck, or good job to everybody that was out there tonight, and keep your heads up, and hopefully next week will even be better.
Well, and let's be honest. I mean, these cars aren't exactly the easiest to drive, even if they have a neutral setup. I mean, these cars like to step out, and they're certainly not at all like the trucks. And these guys had a fantastic season in the trucks, and now you step into these, and it shows you. They're running on pretty much the exact same tracks for the season, but it's a lot more cautions, and I think it's more attributed to the cars than the drivers. I mean, these drivers certainly have the skills to do it. Scott Bolster certainly has the skills to create the setups for these guys, but Scott's also setting these, creating these setups in a session by himself. It's not like he's out here running in race trim with 5, 6, 7, 8 other guys out there. So not sure sometimes how it handles in the draft or side draft or anything like that. So it's going to change it that way. But ultimately, yeah, these cars can be a handful even for the better drivers. But I have full confidence that these guys will figure it out. I think it's just a couple blips on the radar right here, and they'll get these things straightened back out. But either way, I mean, call it what you will, and an hour and a half worth of maybe don't have to pay too much attention. Just sit back and eat your popcorn, but then put it aside and watch the final few laps here, and just enjoy it as a 3 wide pass through the middle gets it done here for the 4 of Eric Jeffers. So fantastic finish to maybe a rough night for these guys, but I certainly enjoyed it at the end. Hope you guys did too. And just once again, I want to thank our broadcast sponsors, W Energy, and if you're looking for an energy drink that gives you no jitters and no sleepy crash right after it kind of wears off, certainly check out W and use the code COREDUB to get yourself 10% off. Thank you to all these guys out here that do come out here week in and week out and put on the show for us. Thankful to you guys out there for coming out and watching it, and for all the subscriptions that you've given us so far. If you haven't yet, please make sure you do so. But that's going to do it for myself and Jimmy here at Atlanta. We'll see you at the track.
Peace.